Eric and I have had a busy week behind the scenes. Lots going on, lots in development, and not a lot we can discuss. But we've got some interesting things happening. Let me think. Eric, help me out. I'm floundering a little bit here, buddy. What can I talk about? What can't I talk about?
There's a few things that well, there's one thing we talked about last week that I should probably address this week, because we said we were going to make an announcement on this past week, for a new feature that was going to help alleviate some of the selling pressure, and we are still testing that. There was a situation with so what it is we're deploying a new smart contract. It's not so I shouldn't say a new one, sorry. It's a different smart contract to add this feature. It's an additional smart contract to add a feature to our web app that is not going to directly interact with our primary smart contract. That smart contract has been tested a couple of times, and we just want to make sure it's functioning as intended and there's no negative consequences of us putting it out in the marketplace if there's an issue with the allocations or mathematics on it. So we're still in testing on that. We do have it nearly ready, but we did slip on the time frame, so it was not available this last week. I don't want to give you another time frame. It'll be soon. But if I keep giving you timelines and we keep missing the dates, it doesn't look as good. So I'm just going to say it's close to being ready. It'll be soon. You guys will like it, I think. It's nothing super revolutionary, but it is going to help. And I'll just leave it at that.
It's so those of you who've been here from the start know how careful Eric and I like to be with smart contracts and code. We'd rather double, triple check.
Yeah. I think that's it for announcements. We are working on some other stuff that we can't discuss yet. Like I said, you guys may have seen we're not as active this last week in the Discord chat as we have been in previous weeks. That's because, as Luke said earlier, we have been very busy behind the scenes, basically making deals, shaking hands, that sort of stuff that's going to come out soon. Once again, but it's not ready to be announced yet. You guys are going to, I think there's at least one you guys are going to love, absolutely love it, but it's just not there, ready to make an announcement. Yeah.
At least one. I think they're going to love all of them.
I think so too. I think there's just one. There's one that's going to be really exciting. That's just, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been crazy, hasn't it? What an amazing week.
Yeah.
So, however, what has happened? Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The markets have taken an absolute battering over the last couple of days, haven't they? That's been
that's a nice way of saying it. It's a really nice way of saying that. Yeah,
it really is, isn't it?
It's
absolutely. I guess the silver lining is that FIRE has really maintained a strong price, and our exchange rate into AVAX right now is very attractive. I believe it got up to 5.2, so one FIRE got 5.2 AVAX. What an exchange that is.
Yeah. Well, let's explain why that's important.
Okay.
Because we maintained our price as a community. The FIRE token price maintained through a lot of this gigantic dip that we saw the last couple of days. It actually strengthened our ratio against AVAX in our liquidity pool. So, correct me if I'm wrong here, Luke. With a 5-to-1 ratio, we're almost 5-to-1 ratio. We're at 5 AVAX now. It's 4.92, but I'll round up for easy math. 5 AVAX to 1 FIRE. For every dollar that AVAX appreciates in value, our token appreciates 5. Is that right, Luke? Am I doing the math right? The way that liquidity works?
Right. So on that wrapped AVAX pool, that pooled AVAX, when that price comes back to normal, back to where it should be, that AVAX is going to be a lot higher. So when that doubles, yeah, we're going to be growing 5-to-1 on that. It's going to be beautiful. But your portfolios, when you're cashing out your AVAX, you're cashing out 5 AVAX. our AVAX in the liquidity pool, when that token goes back up to $100, we have 33,000 AVAX in there. You can do the maths on what that will be. At the moment, it's $2 million at $100. It's going to be a nice liquidity pool in there. So when as AVAX recovers, as the market recovers, we're going to see a really nice nice growth in our liquidity pool, and hopefully a nice maintenance of token value, because it's really ranging well at the moment. Really enjoying the chart. It's just a naturally beautiful thing to watch. Yeah, no, it's doing good, Eric. Should we open for some questions? Should we get some people up here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get some people up here asking questions. We did. Some people are raising. If people start raising their hands, I'll fill the space here. We did have some a Twitter discussion recently, and somebody asked, how do you define sustainability? And I answered it by saying, in a passive income project like the Phoenix is, you really want to see a stable, predictable price that sort of trades in a band. You're going to have ups and downs, but it trades inside of a band, and the more predictable that band is, the better. And so if you go look midday, local my time midday, on the 14th of January, we have been trading in this sort of a sideways narrow band where we've gone as high as 361 in price, but we've also only gone as low as 250, maybe 7 or 258 in that time frame. Right. So what that, 255, I think is the low. So we're in somewhat of a $100 price band, but we're trading sideways in between those different points, and we stay around the $300 mark. And we've been doing that now for going on 9-10 days. That's perfectly what you want to see in a passive income. And I said it in the Twitter too. We really don't want to see this, to the moon kind of mentality like you'd see with other traditional coins that are like, you buy it, you hold it, you wait for it to appreciate, you sell it, because that's basically what you do with Bitcoin, right? You buy Bitcoin at a certain price, hoping that it's going to appreciate so you can sell it to somebody later. The way that we're built here with this project, we'd like to see some price appreciation over time, but that straight up to the moon kind of mark on chart is not really good for passive income plays. Right, so that's I think we're doing really well with the value of the token. So we have one person. All right.
Hey, he's going
I don't even know what the.
I'm going to call this thinking guy. It looks like a thinking face to me. Yeah. When you'll get a little pop up, you have to press it. Thinking guy.
There's when you request to come up to the stage, there's a bar across the top of the screen. You have to accept the offer. There you go.
Hey, how are we doing?
Hey, doing well.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. So I was part of the Twitter space that day, and I asked Luke, what in the short term and long term are the biggest, what you would say the biggest challenges that Phoenix faces? And he had mentioned, growing too quickly kind of in the short term was going to be one of the primary challenges. And I was wondering, how do you guys address that? What do you guys have planned to kind of, make sure that doesn't happen?
The first thing we've done is not advertise it at all. We've really had to hold back because, we're aware of the popularity of these projects. And when the world knows, they're going to come in their droves. So we just wanted to approach our marketing very slowly and gently. We're able to speed it up as and when we need to, which is good. This thing's a lot harder to slow down than it is to speed up. So we can put in nice little charge bits of here and there to increase it, but holding it back is difficulty on the marketing. Anything you want to add to that, Eric?
No, you nailed it. Just we haven't done any marketing or advertising, so we haven't tried to advertise or market it at all. This is all word of mouth right now. People are finding about it organically through conversation for the most part. There have been a few YouTube videos that have come out. We can't stop people from making YouTube videos if they want to talk about our project. We have not. We partnered with one where we actually went in and did the interview with Wealth Code. Other than that, we have not sponsored or engaged with anybody else to have videos on YouTube or conversations. We've done a few AMAs like this here in the Discord. We've done a couple of Twitter AMAs to reach a different audience. We did one with Crypto Underground a couple of days ago. That was really nice. So that's it. That's all the marketing, if you want to call that marketing. That's all we've done, is just got on AMAs and talked to people and answered questions people ask. That's it.
We've actually had some in the community offer to do some marketing for us as well, which is really kind. But we're just like, slow and steady, guys. Slow and steady.
Wonderful, man. Well, thank you guys for answering my questions. So, and to follow up, I know it's been mentioned that, our minimum, growth rate is around 0.68% that we need to maintain for it all to work. And kind of where are we in relation to that at this, current time?
I would say we're exceeding that. I think Luke, have you reviewed the actual figures on a daily basis to see what the growth rates are?
No, I'm 100% confident John has, but I have not looked at them for the last 2 days, so I apologize. I do not have that information in front of me, but I will get it.
Yeah, no worries. I just figured I'd ask.
It's a good question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
No worries. We appreciate you as well. So should we invite Shutter Down 101? Come on up. I'm just going to message.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Shut her down, huh?
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. So I'm brand new to the space of DeFi as a service, nodes as a service, and I've already set 2 nests. It's kind of addicting, and I have a pile of some AVAX on hold to get another one when these 2 compound. And so I'm excited about the project, still trying to understand some of the inner workings. How exactly are we rewarded? Is that coming from the treasury? Or if you could just explain that in a bit for me, who is kind of a noob, and maybe the same question also. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You're awarded in tokens, and that's I had a conversation in the Discord chat a few days ago. We went into this pretty in depth, but if you weren't there at the time I was writing all the answers, I'll recover them. You get rewarded in tokens, and tokens are the only thing you get rewarded in. The tokens come from the reward pool, which is built by donation and from nest creation, right? So meaning when you build a nest, 7 of the 10 fire that you spend goes into the reward pool for future rewards. We also have the ability to donate tokens to that reward pool from the main wallet if we get to the point where we need to put more tokens in there to grow the reward capability, let's say. We don't anticipate doing that, but the ability to do that is, in that case. The way that you earn profit in terms of real dollars or pounds or whatever the euro is or whatever your local currency is, because you can't take fire and go spend it at a store or buy goods and services with it. You would need to exchange it for something, right? And so the way you make profit is you sell it or exchange it on the market for something that you can turn into cash. And the way that we influence, I shouldn't say influence, the way we release profit in the future with the incubation program and the investment ROIs that we earn is we go in and we buy the token, which changes the liquidity pair ratio, and then you end up with a price that should appreciate to give out a better incentive for selling. Let's put it that way. that make sense? Did I cover everything for you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And often will this take place?
Depends on the revenue streams. The ones we're working on right now. So one of the unique selling points for us is that we have a project incubation. I like to tell people to think about like Shark Tank. If you're not familiar with Shark Tank, the TV show, it's where people go and they pitch business ideas, and then the people who are investors decide whether they want to invest in it or not. They usually will do it some type of profit share. So if they decide to invest, they'll say, well, I'll invest in your company idea. I really like what you're going to do. I will do it for 25% of profit. That's what we do with the incubation program. Is we have projects we fund. Could be right now they're all crypto based. In the future, we have some plans for a few. I've had a conversation where we're looking at some real world businesses that we might fund as like a venture capitalist and then get profit share for those as well. That seem to be, they probably would start slow, but they would grow into something very large. And I won't go into more detail about that now at this point because I can't, there's not even a handshake agreement. It's just a discovery conversation at this point. But the ones that we have on the books would pay us profit share. The ones that we have in process that are the first one we're going to announce is going to be really nice. It's going to pay profits out on a routine weekly, could be daily, could be monthly. But when we get those profits paid to the Phoenix Community Capital, that's when that will happen. We'll do it'll be on a routine basis whenever the profit share happens. Luke, do you want to add anything to that? Do you want to know? Do you know what the schedule is going to be like on the first one?
We have things that we're working on. I have a basic. I'll be able to do a basic reveal of the fund in about 3 weeks. We're hoping to bring it to market around about 6.
Yeah, I mean, so
I wish really wish I could talk about it.
I know, and that's the other thing too, is it's not our project, right? We are investing and we are funding the project, but it's not our project to announce, which is the reason we can't announce it.
A lot of these projects will have NDAs as well, so they'll have like non-disclosure agreements we have to sign in order to learn about the project. So in a difficult position in the future because as I spoke about on I was involved in an impromptu AMA last night on a Twitter space, and we're caught in a difficult vice because within crypto space, I don't know about you lot, but whenever I've put in a crypto investment for my portfolio, my personal portfolio, I like to think I do my own research, but generally I make a decision rather quickly. Now when you're operating with a larger amount of money than like we are here, you don't have that luxury of making a snap decision or an impulse judgment. We can't do that. We have to plan, we have to do our due diligence, we have to check accounts, we have to get a legal team to check them out and everything like that, because we're putting $200,000-$300,000 into a project sure as hell better be legit, because that's Phoenix Community Capital's money, and I hope that you guys appreciate us moving slowly on it, because we're only doing it because we want to be safe. But we're not going to move too slow. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to just be crazy slow. That's not going to happen either, because we are in crypto. We're aware that we need haste, we need speed as well. So we're really, it's a difficult thing to balance, but I think we're doing it good. Well, we are.
Yeah, I think we are. But so question being for the first one that we know for sure is, I say we know for sure, right? That we're pretty certain we have an idea of how that's going to pay out. I don't think there's been ink put to paper on it yet, but we do have an agreement in place. Do we know how often we would be paid profits from those? Is that something that would pay us daily, weekly, monthly? Yeah, I think the best answer I can give you, Shutter Down, is that it's going to be whenever we receive payment, we're going to immediately do what I call profit release into the ecosystem, into the market. So whenever we get it, we're not going to sit on it. We're going to go into the liquidity pool, and you'll see that price appreciation. I've also said in the past, we're not going to just we're not going to just dump a large amount of capital. because what that does is you end up with a giant spike and then a feeding frenzy. And typically that feeding frenzy tends to eat away at the profit that was released and then a little bit extra, right? So we saw that in a couple of other projects that did this. And, they did exactly like they said they were going to do. They did the buyback on the market, and then it got eaten up quickly and then kind of went the opposite direction. If you look at the center line, they went sort of like a slingshot back in the other direction. So it kind of had a really great effect, but then it had a slightly negative effect on the back end. So my intention is to release that in a more stable fashion where we get maybe smaller bites of profitability of just one giant chunk. And if you dropped in, I don't even want to say numbers, but if you dropped in tremendous amounts of money, it would also be disruptive to the market because it would price out new people from building nests as well. So yeah, long way of saying we're going to, as soon as we get it, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it responsibly. We're not going to just drop it all in there all at once. Does that satisfy your question there, Shutterdown? Can you guys still hear me? Can you hear me, Luke?
I can hear you, Eric.
Okay.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I don't know, Shutterdown, if you're trying to talk, we didn't hear anything.
No. But thank you for your question. Some more people. All right. Let's invite Neil. Come on, Neil. Thanks for coming up, Shutdown. Have a good one, man.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can, loud and clear. How you doing?
I'm all right. So there's been some complaints about the UX on the website. Is there any plans to update it at all with regards to the NFT updates with the rates and just the general UX on mobile and whatnot?
I'm working on the website. Let me go look and see what the latest on that was. I think we had something that I approved recently, maybe in the last couple of days, that was supposed to update the price of was supposed to put the price of the NFTs on the website. And as far as the mobile experience, I haven't gotten a lot of complaints about that lately. I thought we had that by and largely we had that fixed. Is there a specific issue with the mobile that you're experiencing that's breaking it or making it unusable?
Not me personally. I don't use mobile, but based off of around the community, it seems like mobile is still an issue.
Okay, I can't find. I'll have to see if I can find that. We use Telegram to channel to do all of our discussion on back-end process and stuff. But I'll check into it. I know I did something recently with regard to putting the prices of the NFTs on the website, and I thought I had that approved and ready to go.
A new website and an updated website is currently in the works, so it's something that we're looking at as we progress. We we launched with this one. And the smart contract we're talking about as well recently, that needs to be incorporated. So there will be something coming up. And if you know of any fire graphic designers, let me know.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
I just have one more question. Do you have any plans to expand to any other chains other than AVAX?
I'd love to, definitely. I think that cross-chain in this sphere at the moment is something that is looked at. However, I'm also keen to make sure we do this right. Let's do this properly before we even think about expanding. However, what we're also not going to do as well, a lot of we see a lot of chains going cross-chain to help with exit liquidity, etc. We won't be doing that. We won't be moving cross-chain to prop up a sinking ship, you know.
Yeah, I think that's always a thing you have to worry about when you go cross-chain, is that you don't want people to either buy your token up and then dump it at the highest point or whatever, or try to arbitrage trade.
Yeah, exactly. It enters the world of hurt. So if we're doing it, we do it properly, but it'll be something different to Phoenix. and not the Phoenix,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, thanks
Yeah.
for answering my questions.
No worries, man. Thanks for coming up.
So I had somebody DM me while you were talking there, Luke, and I think the question about the NFTs was, if you want to hang out for just a second, Nil, were you asking if the NFT? So when you buy the NFTs, you get a rate change on your nests. Are you asking if we're going to update the reward rate to reflect that?
Yes.
Specifically? Okay. That one, yeah, we've got that question before. I've got to work with the developers on how to calculate it. The problem comes in where it's not if you look at your total reward rate, it's going to be a moving number. And I know there's a way to do it. The math is not impossible, right? Just needs to be sat down and figured out. The challenge is when you end up with 10 nests and you buy a master NFT, it's easy to say what the rate is. But then when you build an 11th nest and you don't have a master NFT assigned to that one, now you've got to do a calculation on what that rate is, blended in with the rate of the other, and then have that be dynamic. And so you're going to have to do a count of which ones are NFT and which ones are not NFT, and which ones have the NFT, what type of NFT are applied. So it's not impossible. There's a challenge to it, but I just have to work with the developers to overcome. It hasn't been a priority because people who have the NFTs, you'll see the rewards. And if you, and I hate to say this too, because it requires a little bit of on your part, right? But if you take your reward rate and you track it manually, you'll see that you do get the reward contract. The math works. It's just the web user interface doesn't account for that at this point. So we'll get it updated though. That's a recurring question. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't have that updated.
Right.
So we will have that updated. I just got to get with the developers and figure out the math on that and then have it presented in the proper way.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, anybody else got their hands up? We got to think. Let's give Reliable Guy a chance. Let's see.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going, man?
All right.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Thanks for having me up here. I appreciate all the hard work you guys continue to do for this community. I do have a question with regards to the on and off chain investments. Once you've determined that that those investments are profitable and you guys start taking profit and the profits are taken, is there a way to track those for our own records or no?
Yes, there will be. We're working on a balance sheet at the moment. It's currently in development. So yes, we will be.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. And let's keep this going.
My pleasure, man. Keep up the good vibes and the positive attitude as well, man. We love having you here.
Much appreciated, absolutely.
Let's get Nick up.
It's a good question too.
What's up, Nick?
Hey guys, how are you?
Can't complain yet.
Very good, thank you.
So I don't know if anybody had a question, but I figured I'd just ask it anyway because I just signed on like a few minutes ago. Really quick, I saw on the website it's I'm allowed to build up to 100 nests. Is that correct?
Per wallet, yes.
Per wallet. Okay. So let's say I get up to 100 nests. Everything over that, I mean, will that just fall into my like MetaMask wallet, or will it just stop earning at a certain point?
Oh, the question. What do you mean stop earning?
So like you know how you're paid out daily like 0.225 according to the website, right? In rewards per nest.
Yes.
So once I maximize the amount of nests I'm able to have, and I'm just consistently earning rewards, will the rewards still build up in my wallet, or will it eventually just cap off at a certain point and I won't be able to earn anything anymore unless I sell stuff, unless I sell fire?
So we have a limitation on how much you can per hour period, and that's 100 tokens. If you
Gotcha.
had all the NFTs and you had 100 nests, that represents about 3.5 days worth of rewards, right? So you can't claim more than 100 at a time, but you're not going to stop earning at some point. If you never claimed your fire rewards and you maintained your maintenance fees, then you could potentially keep earning. It doesn't. There's no stop to it, right?
Gotcha.
So the only stop that we put in place was the maintenance fee, right? So the maintenance fee is good for 90 days. If you pay, if you miss a payment, then your nest becomes inactive, right? We don't delete it.
Got it. Got
But
it.
it becomes inactive. So if you lost access to that wallet, or if someone had a wallet with, like, say, 100 nests in it and they died, and no one knew how to get that wallet transferred to somebody else in their family, then eventually, after about 90 days, we'll stop sending fire to that because they will have missed the maintenance payment. That was really put in there to stop that, right? That's the only reason it's there. Well, it's not the only
Gotcha.
reason, but that's the reason for the maintenance payment. That's part of the reason for the maintenance payment, is to have a stopgap for a lost wallet or someone who's unfortunately, passed away or lost access to it, that we don't just keep sending fire to it.
Gotcha. Okay. And one other question. Once, the 90 days, do you guys send out like a notification saying, hey, maintenance fee is due, or something like that at all? Or do I have to keep track of that myself?
Well, let me ask you, how would I send it to you?
Well, I don't know. I was just, I'm just curious. I just didn't know, like, if you
you
guys
don't
have like
wanna-
some sort of like.
I mean, so it's a legitimate question, by the way. I wasn't being snarky. I mean,
No,
I
I
thought
didn't
about
take
it.
it like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to take it that way. I apologize. I could have framed it a little differently.
No, that's fine.
We thought about notifications, but you don't give us your ID. You don't give us your email address when you build the nests. We don't have a way to
Got it.
contact you on the nest based on your wallet, right? So unless there's a way I can send a message through MetaMask, there's no way, or whatever wallet you're using, there's no way I can really contact you to say, hey, you need to pay your maintenance. Now, if we had a login mechanism where you had a username tied to it, maybe we could do that. Maybe I think we do have something. It hasn't happened yet because it hasn't happened. We haven't been here 90 days yet. But I think there is a process where there may be a pop-up in the website. If you log into the website, it'll remind you, or there's a color will change to red at some point and say, hey, this is due, and you need to pay this within 5 days or something. The color of the text turns to a different color, or there's a pop-up message to really grab your attention. But other than that, we don't have any other way of contacting people to let them know.
Okay.
The good news is that if you miss the maintenance and it goes inactive, you can pay to have it reactivated, right? So we don't delete it. It's not gone forever. It just stops earning at that point.
Got it. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem, Nick.
Thanks, boss. Bye.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny out.
Yeah, I got Johnny coming up. There we go, Johnny.
Hey guys, what's up?
How you doing, man?
Hey bros. Good. How are you?
Doing great.
The question I have for you is pretty simple. Are we dependent on the price of AVAX? If so, how much? And if we are, how do we get away from that dependency and lean more towards an independent, not necessarily revenue, but just to become independent, regardless of how the native token is on our chain?
So we covered this a little bit right when we started the AMA. We are somewhat tied to the price of AVAX. However, we still have our own independent market price as well. As you've seen in the last couple of days, AVAX has gone down in value quite a lot. We have not gone down at the same proportionate ratio. We've maintained, really, right? So what happened was the price of AVAX went down because people were selling a bunch of AVAX. Fire stayed relatively the same, and we still trade in that same range that I was talking about earlier. What happened was our ratio increased. We were at about 3-to-1, 3 AVAX to 1. So it's 3 and some change. So it was like 3 AVAX for 1 fire. Now we're almost at 5 to 1 AVAX to fire. So the market has been good for us while it was bad for everybody else. The benefit on the back end of that is that AVAX will come back up. It's not going to go down to like nothing, right? Luke and I are fairly certain we know what's driving the overall market price down. There's a couple of global factors in play that I think we've got an understanding of what it is. I don't want to mention it, sorry, because it's anyway.
Couple countries.
Yeah, maybe something. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway. So what the benefit to us is that when the price comes back up, and I'm pretty confident it will, we're going to regain a lot of value off the back end of that. So the way the liquidity is built right now, with a 5 AVAX to 1 fire ratio, for every dollar AVAX comes up, if all things are considered equal, come back up for $5. So every dollar AVAX comes up, fire's price appreciates $5 at that ratio.
Gotcha. Yeah. You answered my question. Luke, Eric, thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Our pleasure, Johnny. Thank you for coming up. Good to hear from you. Let's get Monroe up.
Always good questions.
Hey guys, my music here.
Oh, you're
Hey,
good. I
man.
can hear you.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Very good. Yourself?
Pretty good.
Pretty
man.
good, pretty good. A few questions here. I asked this in chat the other day, and someone said maybe it'd be good to ask me a question. Being that we're only on Trader Joe, if Trader Joe ever went down, is there any thought as to then we wouldn't be able to trade?
That's a really good, really good question. And actually, Eric and I have been talking about this recently. We can't discuss any further anything. However, your question was created impetus. Thank you, S. Monroe.
Second thing is, I think we've talked about this in the past. Or go ahead. Or,
I was going to say we're aware of it. As
Yeah.
I think you pointed out, it does possibly. I mean, it's a far-fetched, right? If Trader Joe goes down, a lot of things.
yeah.
But it is a centralization risk that we're aware of, and we're working on something.
Okay. All good. Yeah, it's definitely a little chat. So just something. I have to start thinking of these stupid things because you guys done such a good job at all the obvious stuff. But,
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Funny story, actually, Monroe. Just to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That centralization risk was actually raised by Certic as well. So just so you know the level at which you're thinking of. Well done.
Yeah, no problem. What I do all day long, I sit and think of questions for you guys. I think we've talked about it before, the tradable NFTs or nests. I know we don't do it. Our nests are more of a number boost. Some other projects are talking about a future marketplace to be trading your nests, or well, for them nodes. But I think you guys have said no in the past. But is that anything that's on the table ever in the future for Phoenix, or no?
So the NFTs boost your rewards. We're not going to allow trading of them because they're going to act as like a reward system. We don't want you to be able to sell your rewards on. Because that encourages bad actors. However, over the coming weeks, there will be some things announced that will be very cool. Sorry, I can't say more. It's horrible coming on these things and not being able to share, because I wish I could. But yeah.
No, it's all good.
And then trading the nests. And the second, so I'm aware of one project, and I won't say their name, but I'm aware of one project that was considering doing a nodes marketplace where you could sell your nodes, but I think they backed off on that. So I'm not familiar because they thought it was going to dilute the value of the token.
Okay.
Which I think they're right. If you can sell a nest, or you could buy a nest without buying the fire, then the buying pressure goes down a little bit there.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple that are talking about it now. So
yeah,
they haven't implemented it, so
it's like a secondary mortgage market, really, right? So you buy it and then you sell it because it has cash flow potential, it has value, and so you benefit from it. But the overall marketplace, I think it dilutes it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I was just curious.
Mhm.
Lastly, people have asked me now that since Phoenix is more not a DeFi or a DAS, it's kind of a DAS investment as a service kind of thing with off-chain. Have you guys ever thought about making it a little bit more centralized and having either any way to track people's nests with a PIN or a password, or anybody that would want a KYC to you guys just for some added protection to their equity? Or is that something that'll never happen?
Yeah, right. So you guys, right, I love you all so much. Eric and I, it's very clear that Eric and I are quickly running out of time to get some of these startups to the market, because what you're explaining right now is one of our startups, and it will absolutely revolutionize DeFi as a service. It will revolutionize the Web3. It will revolutionize crypto. We're going to have to announce that soon. However, in the short term, I spoke to the devs recently about integrating like a PIN service website, and they said all that will do is stop front end, because if they've got access to your front end, they've got access to your back end. So it's kind of more like lip service at this stage. However, moving forward, we've got such a powerhouse being produced.
Good to hear.
Yeah, that's one of those projects we can't really talk about yet, but it's going to, like Luke said, it's going to be huge. And it's going to solve some of those problems you're bringing up.
Awesome, awesome. Other than that, John, just congrats. Things are going good. I've onboarded quite a few people, and I'm a fan of lending out the tokens to my buddies and letting them start up and pay me back. So that's what I'm kind of doing on my end to help out a little bit. And the guys seem to love it. They call me all the time and, oh, my rewards are going up. And, you know, they don't know anything about crypto. So it's kind of fun to help people get involved. But and this has allowed me to. I really haven't on any other projects. Even with my main one from last year, I don't really set too many people up with it. So it's been fun bringing people on to Phoenix and just keep her going. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, no.
That sort of behavior is encouraged. We like that personally, and I think Luke and I both, I wouldn't call it charity, but we love helping out other people. That as a concept, helping your fellow man is really powerful and really important to both of us.
Absolutely. Kate, boot me down and let somebody else come on. Thanks, guys.
Nice one. Thanks for being a brilliant person. Pick that up. All right, I've kicked him off. Let's get the next one up. Red Danny, how are you, man? I really like it. I like everyone in here. It's brilliant, man. What a great space we've got. Hey, Red Danny, how are you?
Can you hear me okay?
No, you sound like you're in a car.
You're a little muffled, but we can hear you, but it's not very clear.
Okay, sorry, I'll do my best to be clear that my question is quick.
Okay, I heard that. Good job.
Thank you. Apologies if anyone's asked this already, but I just wanted to ask, what do you think the sustainability of the reward rate is? I'm new to this project, and I heard you guys talking about Ring and the folks at Ring and the issues with their sustainability. And if you think there's anything that could change the sustainability of the reward rate in the future, maybe years down the line when you guys have got far bigger with far more nests, etc., what is it that you think could change that rate and for what reason?
That's a good one. Luke, this is similar to the question we had the other night on Twitter.
Great question, and I stayed quiet because I know that you have the best answer for this. Unless you want me to take it. You want me to take it?
I could take it. You could take it. It's ultimately, I did this on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I gave a really long answer. But the basics is that we planned ahead of time for what sustainability is like. We didn't sit down and arbitrarily come up with these figures. We sat down with our advisors, and we have several that we worked with prior to launching the project, and we all put our heads together and thought, okay, let's put a formula together. Let's map this out. Let's get a model going and see if we do this rate, at what point does it become unsustainable, or if it does become unsustainable. So we hunted for sustainability in the reward rate. That being said, if there ever becomes a time where we have to do something to fit the project as a whole, we're going to do it, right? So if that means later on we have to make an adjustment somewhere, it's going to be done for the best outcome of the project. So we're not stubborn and say, well, we'll never have to do that. But if it ever comes up, it'll only be done if it's necessary, and it'll be for the benefit of the community in the long term if it's necessary. But our current projections are mathematically sound at a number of what was it in the tens of millions, wasn't it, Luke?
Yeah, we ran the numbers up to 33 million deaths.
Yeah, that's the mathematical upper limit.
More than we ever, far more than we'll ever need.
Right. Well, so somebody asked me in Discord a couple of days ago, that's great, that's a large number. What happens if you actually get to that number? And the answer I gave him was, well, we could make more tokens. That's the mathematical upper limit to the reward rate. It probably isn't really something we would ever hit, I don't think. You look at some other projects that have been around that are very popular, very well known. Stromblock comes to mind. They've only got, 200,000. They've been running for a year, right? So the idea that you're going to get to tens of millions in a short time frame is really kind of, I don't think that's feasible.
Credit to them for their opinion of us, though. Getting to 33 million in a year would be one amazing achievement.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that would be a massive. That would be a massive adoption. Massive adoption if you could pull it off. Yeah, I don't think we're in on the mathematical limits of the token sustainability. I don't think we're anywhere near that in the next 5 years, maybe 10. We'll have to revisit it in 10 years and see. But at the end of it, we could always make more tokens. That's not impossible. It's a fixed rate. We don't want to. We don't want it to be inflationary. We do want it to be non-inflationary, but if it has to be at some point, because we're in the millions of nests at that point, we'll take a look at it. And if we have to do something like that, it'll be because the project needs it, not because we feel like it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Does that make sense to you, Luke? Am I answering this?
That's it.
Do you agree?
Yeah. Did you? Is that okay for you, Dan? Dan? I bet Dan's going through a tunnel right now and he's not actually heard any of it. He's going to come on and he's going to be like,
that's
so
okay,
that question I asked you.
It's okay. This, and we always put the recordings up for the community to listen to if they're not available. So this will be this just for anyone who joined after it started. We are recording this. All of ours are recorded, so you can always revisit them afterwards. Danny, are you still with us, or did you drop off? I can't hear him if he's talking. So I think we just thank you very much, Danny. We'll just go ahead and drop Danny, I think, and then bring Jules up. Yeah, sorry if you were still talking, Danny. I apologize. We couldn't hear anything you were saying, and in the interest of time, we want to keep going.
It's Jules. Come on, Jules.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Jules.
I'm good, thanks. I think this has been talked about in chat, but I haven't been in there, so I know this may be a repeat conversation, but
that's okay. We don't mind.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. How are you guys going to handle Chinese New Year's next year?
What a great question. Oh my God, we've got someone who saw something. Good on you. High fives all round. Chinese New Year is the time of the year, isn't it? Well done, Jules.
You hit the nail on the head with a sledgehammer. So that's a great question.
Great question. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to prepare for it better than we did this year. It kind of sidewinded us is we overlooked it, and moving forward, however, Chinese New Year also has the other side of the coin, which we're looking forward to as well. So it's a good time of year to be in crypto. However, it is a bit of a wobble right now. Not financial advice.
Does that give you the answer you want, Jules, or is that was that less than what you were hoping for?
Well, I think if there's some ways to involve the community too, I know that that's optimal, but that's the answer we're going to get now.
So when you say involve the community, what do you envision? Just as a suggestion, I love the idea of getting the community involved, but in what way would we involve the community in decision making process, recommendations? Well, I love it.
And obviously I'm not coming at this crypto I'm coming at this on an investment side, like for example, in options trading, when there's earnings statements coming out, everybody gets out of their options position just in anticipation of what's about to hit. And obviously crypto can be the balance for the US dollar. So is it more people go in during this time next year? And could it really make that big of a difference because it's a smaller project? Like we all go in, more sales, more investments during this time next year? Or is there some other way that we can counterbalance it on a small scale? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. The first thing that we did this year was we were holding on to AVAX because we were very bullish, thinking it was going to appreciate, and it is long term. But in the short term, it has had a very downward trajectory the last couple of days, which may end up actually benefiting us. However, the treasury is currently held in AVAX, and so if you log into the website and you see the treasury amount, you can see that it's lower than it was a few days ago. That's because we held it in AVAX. That was probably not a smart move. We had seen this coming. We could have, and I think this is part of what Luke was talking about preparing, we could have maybe transitioned prior to and then utilize the dip to buy back in right before it comes back up. Because you see this every year. If you go back the last couple of years, you can see where Chinese New Year is, and you can see where the rest of the market does kind of go through the same pattern. So it's almost predictable. So next year we won't be caught off guard by it.
Follow the market.
I didn't quite catch that. What?
Still follow the market next year.
Well, it's somewhat predictable because Chinese New Year happens at a certain time. We know when it's going to be. We know that there's a certain
I'm not saying it's the incorrect
there's a culture. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's incorrect. I'm just getting clarification. That's the plan next year.
Thanks, Jules. I mean, I'm a trader, and I used to eat, breathe, live my order book. It's the thing that consumes my being. However, at the moment, what's consuming Eric and I's being is the complete setup of this startup, and there's a lot of facets that we have to look at. But one thing that you've made abundantly clear, and Eric, I think we need to make this a number one priority. We spoke about it 2 days ago. Is we need someone, we need a full-time investment manager on this. So I think that's going to be our number one priority. And we need. I think Eric, you'd agree with that, and I'd like to thank you for bringing that to our attention, Jules.
I agree with you there.
Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you for your questions. Do you have any further, or can I bring Rosa up?
Nope, that's my only one.
Brilliant. Great to meet you, Jules. Have a great day. All right. Let's get Rosa.
Hey guys, sorry, it took me a minute to work out how to accept that invite.
That's all right, man. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me on. It's just a quick, easy question from me. I just wondered if you've had any more updates from Certic about the audit being stuck on 99%.
Yeah, I reached out to Larry, our manager at Certic that we work with. I sent him, what was it look like, probably a few days ago. I sent him a message, said, hey man, can you get the website updated? I mean, I know it's a minor thing at this point because the audit is done, and he said it's coming. I don't know when that timeline works for them. So I don't know if it's a manual process or if there's some other condition as to be met. They haven't given us any guidance. There's nothing left for us on our end to do. We're waiting on them to finish that, but effectively it's done. So you look at the stage that it's in, it says, final report delivered to the team, I think is something to that effect. We got that final report and we were done with it weeks ago. I don't know why they've waited to update their website. There's no feedback from them that we need to do anything else to provide input to get that updated. And I've asked them twice to make sure that that's updated. And we're at the mercy of them. We don't control their website. I don't have any input beyond asking him very nicely to make sure it's updated, please.
Yeah, that's understandable. I can remember you.
It's kind of a nuisance because I mean, I'm the same way. I'm the same way as the community, right? I'm looking at it myself on almost a daily basis, and I'm wondering, okay, Larry, what the heck is taking so long? Like, if you need me to, I can loan you a developer to help you update the website or front end design, just whatever it needs to be, whatever that process is. I'll do it myself if it's just a click of a button. I just don't know what the requirement is. He's been very helpful, but he has not given me any kind of indication that he's waiting on something from us. So that's all I can tell you.
No, that's great. Thank you.
Sorry.
One other thing.
I'll ramble on that.
No, it's all good. I just thought it'd be, especially for the new people, it'd be very reassuring if they could jump on, on the website, see the Certic audit logo, click on it and see it on 100%, but it's, as you say, it's out of your hands, so what can you do?
Yep. And for those who are new, let me just 1 second, I'll say this for those who are new. Several people have asked to see the report. The report that Certic gave us actually has our code listed in it in several places. So we're not going to share our report, which is very detailed, with the community. They do when they finally update their website and they load the report, there will be a public-facing report in there that you guys can look at. But the one that we have is a PDF document, and it has specific snippets of code in it that they reference that I don't think is going to be in the end, or at least it better not be. So we're not going to share the one we have because it's far too detailed. But the one that they publish for the public should be suitable for the public to see, if that makes sense. Just for the new people, I've mentioned that a couple weeks ago, I think, or maybe last week. But for anyone who's new here, wanting to see, hey, can I see the Certic audit that you guys, the report you guys got? That's the reason why we haven't shared it with the community, is because it does have specific snippets of code in there that we want to keep private. Sorry, Ronza, go on with your next question.
That's okay. It's not this one. It only came to a minute ago, but my biggest concern around this project is actually nothing to do with you guys. It's the tax implications. And I know that it's very difficult because it's dependent on where you're based. But there were a lot of really good thoughts coming out in the general chat earlier. And I'm based in the UK, and those ideas were all based on the as well. I just wondered, would it be worth maybe having a chat dedicated to sort of tax discussions and that sort of thing? I know in the Strong Discord they have something similar. Just
yeah,
if you get it wrong, I find it quite concerning. It's something I really need to dig into because the implications, if you get it wrong, can be pretty enormous. So it would be great just to have somewhere to talk about it, if that's something that you guys think is a good idea.
I'm not against it, just as long as everyone knows it's a non-official, like you're not getting tax advice from us or from the project directly. If you guys want a channel where you discuss amongst yourselves and want to give each other ideas or maybe pointers on what to do or who to talk to or what products to use, then I'm not against that. I just want to make sure that everyone understands it's not a sponsored, this is how you should tax according to Eric and Luke or the Phoenix.
The best person to speak to about tax is a professional tax advisor. However, I understand exactly how difficult it is to get one that also understands crypto. So it is never changing landscape. I do think that if great minds come together, great things can be created, and I'm happy to create the breeding ground for discussion. However, at no point, can it be seen as Phoenix Community Capital advice. It's just going to be a communication room. I think that's a good idea there, actually, Roger. There's some nice ones on Telegram as well to look around for as well. So where some real heavy tax professionals are talking. So yeah, let's see what we can do. I'll have a good team to see if we can get it on.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Rob.
Right, thank you. Get 1031 investor up.
Hey guys, hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for fielding our questions. So, I'm hearing some of the questions here in the community. It seems like you guys have a pretty strong community and believers. Certainly myself, and so listening to some of the stuff that you guys are putting out. What can the community do to support you guys? Right? It seems like you got a very supportive community. It seems like there's a fair amount of people. How can the community come together to support what you guys are doing more?
I think the best thing, and we've already seen it happen here, is that when new people show up and they have questions, our community is really quick to answer a lot of those questions, especially recurring, frequent questions. And some of those answers may be even listed in the announcements or the FAQ section. But the biggest thing that y'all can do is welcome new people. We don't, I think we said this before, but it's in the interest of, we have 2,000 users in the Discord server now, it's probably worth repeating. We don't stray away from tough conversations or difficult questions. We welcome them, and we like to keep it civilized. So I've said it before, and it's just sort of one of the things I say that's, I think funny. Other people may not think it's funny, but I tell people we're not running a cult here. We do invite questions and criticisms, and it just has to be done in a polite way. So the best thing you can do is foster that same mentality in the chat when new people show up and they ask questions. We don't shut down people for asking difficult or challenging questions either. So that's the big thing. Luke, you got anything to add to that? I don't know if there's anything other than that, even indirectly, that you could do as a community member to really help out. Oh, actually, one thing comes to mind, Luke. Maybe I'll jump in here before you get a chance to talk. If you have ideas, share them. We have an idea section. If you have ideas, share them. If you think it's going to benefit the community, Luke and I do look at those. Some of them have been passed on to conversation. Some of them have been overlooked, and if we haven't given explanations as to why they're overlooked, I apologize. But some we take suggestions. So if you have a suggestion, then help out, and you think it would help, then great. Sorry, I'm done now. You can answer.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, thanks for such a beautiful question, because that caught me unawares. Thank you. I really appreciate it. One thing that's really important for me is the environment that we've created. And Eric mentioned it nicely, that we're all keen to help and support one another. I think that's beautiful, and you know, we have to welcome people into our home. This is our home. Come through the door. You're our guest. Be a good guest. Be a good host. Eat at our table. Come break bread with us. And I think if we're kind to one another, and we can be kind to each other as well in real life, and spread kindness and joy to one another, because life's going to get hard this year. People are going to struggle, and you know, it's going to be tough in real world. So you know, we have to ensure that we're sharing love and kindness between one another. We're really blessed in crypto that we get to create the future of a digital space, and you guys are part of the community that is leading this. And we have the ideas section, but also we have the incubator. We have great projects lined up that we're incubating, but we want to hear more. We want to hear yours. And if you've got an idea, if you've got that little worm in your brain that goes, this will make a hell of a lot of money, but it'll also do good for the world, because that's the #1 priority. If it ticks those 2 boxes, let us know. Let us know. We'll help you develop it. You know, if you've got something that you think can change things, you need a hand getting off the ground, call us. You know, we want to help. We're here to make a change. Eric and I want to create the next generation of crypto CEOs, and our community is the pot that can do it. So the way you guys can help us is becoming the best version of yourself. We're becoming the best version of ours. Become the best version of yourself, and then let's create the best version of this community and the best projects, and let's grow this into the hottest space in crypto. Thanks.
Thank you for the feedback.
My pleasure, man. Thank you.
Is that all the questions you had, 1031, or you got something else you want to ask?
No, I think that covers it. I had questions about the website, but it's all UI UX or user interface, user experience, and honestly, that's just it's the backbones. If you got the formulas right, and you know the NFT, like you said, is working, all that custom, front-facing stuff is to me it's less important, but I can appreciate it's important to people. But as long as the numbers and the math make sense and it's working, perfectly fine by me.
Yeah, okay. We're as we said earlier, we're working on there will be a next iteration of the website. There has to be, because we're going to add some functionality in the near future. So there's an opportunity for us to update the website in a major, that's called a major revision. We've had some minor revisions you may or may not have even noticed. We have been making changes and updates over the last couple of weeks, sort of dynamically as they come up. Minor changes, minor revisions, wording, something was misspelled, I think, or something like that. Then we make those changes. But there's a major revision coming as well that'll change the website, because we have to. There's a functionality adding that we have to account for. But yeah, thank you for your questions. Appreciate it very much.
I have one more question, if it's okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe it's just the functionality that you plan to add, or if it's there that I'm not aware of. As you're accumulating rewards, if you want to reinvest it into an nest, is there a relatively automatic way to do that, or do you have to sort of claim, go back to MetaMask, and then create a new nest?
The way the smart contract is written, it's a claim and then reinvest. That's not something that we're gonna. I think we've actually had this question a couple of times. That's not something we're gonna update. It was asked in chat before. I don't think it was ever asked in an AMA. But yeah, we're not, Luke. I don't think we're updating to do any kind of automatic compounding without claiming, right?
No. I kind of like the fact that it's like 2 steps as well, because it means that you can't accidentally compound. Because you have to withdraw and then build a new nest, so you're not accidentally compounding.
Fair. I mean, it's 2 steps, and instead of 1, and it's I think it's not a too big of a deal, so it makes perfect sense.
Thanks, man, and thank you for your brilliant question. Absolutely great. Really good to have you here, buddy.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
All right.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
You got it. Bye.
All right, bye. I've got a packet of mints in front of me, and I'm really enjoying them. Hey, JDP, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey, welcome.
First, a big shout out for you and Luke and Eric. You doing a grand job. Absolutely brilliant. Brumdog told me about this project, which, wow, I'm just so impressed. I've been following it since Christmas time. Yeah, about Christmas time, following it, and it's an amazing project. I was late into the AMA. I just really want to know is exchanges. What exchanges are you looking at? You might have mentioned it already, but I missed it if you have. What exchange are you looking at going forward? Really, that's it.
We discussed exchanges earlier a little bit, but we didn't name any names. So there are some others we're looking at. I don't think we're in a place where we're going to name names yet on those, because it's not ready yet. But we are in the process of exploring other exchanges.
But also, thank you for your great kind words, and thanks for being here since the start, because it's been amazing. We are going on exchanges. They are being planned. We're just trying to work out which and when. Every step we've made has had a reason and a choice behind it. So yeah, it's going to break back. It's going to be sooner rather than later.
Oh, brilliant. Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. I don't know why, but my phone didn't hear what you were saying there. But I think I kind of got it. You got it in the background. You're working on them.
Yeah.
That's all really, and keep up the good work. You're really doing really good. I'm just watching the price and everything. It's stable. It's brilliant, and yeah, just keep going, Luke and Eric. Brilliant.
Thank you, man. I really
appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry you didn't hear Luke's response. It's one of those things that was like, I do this with my wife all the time, but if she doesn't hear me, I say, well, I can't repeat it now, and it was the most beautiful thing in the universe. You had to have been there. You missed it. I'm sorry.
It was beautiful.
Always the way.
Love it. Thanks for coming up, man. Let's get Monster up. Have a good one, JDP.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, let's get Monster up. Should we do Monster JM CAD and then call it a quit?
Yeah, I think we get Monster, and then there's one more in the queue, and then after that we're going to be done. We're going on an hour and 15 minutes on the AMA. Yeah, we would like to keep these around an hour to an hour and a half time frame at most.
Yeah. What's up, Monster? How are you?
You are still muted if you're talking. Maybe Monster had to step away.
Maybe.
Should we give him like a 15-second runoff before we take him in the audience?
Yeah, man. Is there like any waiting music that they have in America? We use the countdown theme sheet.
Let's see.
Boom.
Hold on a second. I'm getting a message from him in the chat. Maybe there's an issue, a technical issue.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's get Jay.
So he says he's muted and can't speak. He's in the chat. I don't know why you would be muted. I'm looking at you. Oh, there we go. Now see if you can talk now.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey guys, sorry about that. I had some technical. I wasn't able to speak, so I had to jump in the chat real fast.
I appreciate you doing that because I was watching to see if you were start typing.
Yeah, no problem. So I just want to say, I've been in since the beginning. I'm no whale. I had a modest start. Started off with one nest onto my second, and compounding to my third. I just want to say that the project, it's awesome. Despite all the blood in the market, it's like the previous speaker had said. The price is stable, and that's something that's like it's just crazy. Just to see that. And tracking all kinds of different cryptos and other projects and whatnot, and the price fluctuations. But with Phoenix, it's just beautiful to see the chart. So I just had a question because I know I know we had invested like in other projects, say like Wonderland, and I know there's a lot of changes going on with Wonderland, in regards to like the rebases in the future. And I just wanted to ask a question: have you guys in regards to like added sustainability for the long term of the project, have you guys thought about like an AVAX validator since we're already on the AVAX network?
Somebody asked me yesterday if we were gonna do nodes, and I'll tell you, Luke, I don't think it's in our roadmap at the moment to do nodes. It's sort of one of those things. We actually, when we came together, Showtime was one of the first ones. He may have been the first one before we even built the project, before we built the smart contract, but we were still in the planning phase of this. We were discussing with several of our advisors, they're crypto veterans, they're legends in the space. Showtime was one of those, and I think he was the first that said, all right, you got to figure out a different name besides Node, because if you're not making nodes, it's confusing. And I said, no, we're not making nodes, so we'll figure out a different name. And so we landed on the name Nest. Because we wanted to make sure people knew it wasn't a node. And now I get people that think Nest is like a clever way of disguising what is actually a node. So we don't have nodes now. I know that's not your question. I'm just for the community here. We don't have nodes now. It's not in our immediate roadmap. It's not something I want to rule out completely down the road yet at this moment to create validator nodes for Avalanche. I like the idea.
We're kind of like, Eric and I are kind of the kind of people that's kind of like, oh, we could run a node. Or we could be the node, right? So Eric and I, if that's something that we'll get into, we'll probably try and find a way of creating that as opposed to adopting that. It's kind of how our brains operate. There's a need for it, and we can create it to sustain an ecosystem. That's our plan. We want to creating an ecosystem. I've run validator nodes personally for a while now. I find them to be great sources of passive income. However, I think this kind of model was a little bit different, and I think we're pushing the boundaries of what can be done in the crypto sphere, and it's nice to run RPC endpoints, as they're now called, new marketing term. But yeah, I think we'd like to just test this model for a bit longer and see what we can achieve, because it's looking pretty good right now, isn't it?
We could do it as a secondary offering, but not a primary offering for the Phoenix. if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Luke? Right, like you could do it as like a secondary offering, but not directly inside of what is this what we're running here, the Phoenix. We could have a subsidiary project that does that.
Oh yeah, that like I said, whatever the group is already doing, it's working, and I'm in it for the long haul. I have I have no objection about anything. I've listened to like every AMA since the very first. There was only like 20 or 30 people in the room, but it was just one of those things I was pointing out with in regards to changes with certain other projects like Wonderland that we have invested in. So. It was just a question like off the top of my head, but whatever you guys are already doing, it's working. So I have no no backlashing or questioning about anything because apparently whatever we're doing is a lot better than what's happening to the market right now.
I love that. Thank you, Monster. And you know what? Like, you've been here from the start. I've seen you all the way along, and thank you for becoming such a valued member of the community as well. An honor to have.
Oh yeah, no problem. I just have to thank Eric for that because when he made the announcement about it, I jumped on that Discord invite as soon as I could. So thank you again, Eric. Luke, Eric and Luke, thank you guys.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I think I put out most of the early invites, almost all of them actually.
Yeah, you did, man. You did. All right, let's get JM up. Brilliant. Thanks, Monster.
All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, I kicked him out a bit quick.
Hello.
Sorry, mate. Hi, James.
Okay. You got it all.
Everyone. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. How are you guys?
Good.
Fantastic.
Cool. Just a quick question, really. I was very fortunate to a friend of mine got me into the project. He knows you pretty well, Luke. He goes under the name of Modus.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm obviously blessed to be here. I just wanted to ask. Obviously, the start has been fantastic, and I presume probably better than you expected at this point already, because obviously no marketing has started or anything. Is there a position where we sort of can overheat, and if so, in some ways that kind of helps that you maybe don't have to market at this point because word of mouth is just doing it. So do you have sort of thoughts on that? Is that a concern in any way, or you're ready to just keep ramping it up at this point?
It's a good question, and it's great to meet you, by the way, as well.
Thank you, man.
So, no, thank you. So yeah, we've been really blessed. Number one, we've had a strong community. Number two, that community is well respected. Number three, they're seasoned investors and do their research, and this has gone better than our wildest imagination could have imagined. And we're here, and we've created something really, really, really powerful now, and it's a beautiful beast we've created. Now, Showtime mentioned something really, really key early on, and it's kind of stuck with me. And it's, if you think about like again football, it's not until the second half that we really find out what's going to go on, because the plan is set for the first half, but the second half is where you really work out which team's got the balls and the guts and grit to succeed. And what we're doing now is creating that foundation and building it solid and tight so that in that second half we can run. We've all the way along, I've had one of the strongest marketing teams in my pocket, ready to kick off at a moment's notice, and I'm really shocked that we've not actually had to call on them yet. But when we do, we've got the hottest marketing team in crypto ready to kick on with us. They've marketed some big projects up to top 50. So yeah, I think when we need to, we can push that button and we can grow quick. But like you said, if it goes too quick, it gets too hot, that we do have some mechanisms that can cool it down, but only in an emergency do we want to use them.
No, that's cool. That's great. That's great. Brilliant. All I can say is, what a fantastic start. I'm really glad to be here. So appreciate you calling me up, and keep doing what you're doing. It's fantastic.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey. All right.
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think that's
all right.
about it, isn't it? Let's wrap this up.
I think that's it. Wicked. Cool. Let's end with a nice statement to everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate every single one of you who's come along, looked at our project, met our community, looked at our token, looked at Eric and I and have gone, do you know what? Yeah, this looks good. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Nothing that we give you financial advice at any time, but, we're happy to share our thoughts and opinions. And we're really, really grateful that you're here with us. We love each and every one of you, truly. Thank you.